Hello and welcome to Wobbly's Ashes verdict, my verdict of the second test match between England and Australia. And what a comprehensive victory for the Australians, winning as they did at Lord's by 405 runs. A remarkable turnaround then between the game at Cardiff and at Lord's. What are the reasons for that? A better performance by Australia, a worse performance by England? Is it the pitch? We'll look back at the game at Lord's, discuss all that, and look forward to the game at Edgbaston in the rest of Wobbly's Ashes verdict. So yes, as I mentioned, England really trounced at Lord's, Australia winning by 405 runs. And this game really epitomised the inconsistency that England's test match team is showing at the moment. Often they have a decent test match win, as they have done recently against New Zealand and the West Indies, and then follow it up by not backing up that performance and losing the next game. And so it was at Lord's. Just a few little stats about England, just to perhaps point at a few of the reasons why they weren't as successful as they were at Cardiff. In Australia's first innings, where they racked up a huge score over 500, only 6% of the deliveries were hitting the stumps, which really was very, very different to Cardiff, where they were zoning in as much as they could, bowling as straight as they could at those stumps. Probably not good enough, gave Australia far too much width and let them score quite freely. At Cardiff, England bowled 38 maidens in roughly 150 overs of cricket when they bowled. At Lord's, only 28 maidens in about 210 overs. So again, weren't as disciplined with the ball, and that was a real reason why Australia could get away in that first innings. In England's batting, obviously two pretty average performances, especially in the second innings. The top three is a big issue for England now. At the fall of the third wicket, England averaged 94 runs since July 2013. Only Zimbabwe, of the test-playing nations, average less than that. So it's a big issue, and they'll be looking perhaps at a change or two, maybe leaving Gary Ballance out in the next test match. For Australia, a massive difference of approach really, and in terms of their performance as well from the game at Cardiff. A lot more aggressive, a lot more in your face. They looked very relentless in their performance at Lord's. Mitchell Johnson obviously roared back to form after his average display at Cardiff. Stephen Smith scoring a double century really epitomised Australia's relentless approach, not giving England any sniff of getting into this game. I wrote in my piece for Cricket World before this test match that it would take a remarkable turnaround for Australia to get back into this series, and so it was. It was such a great performance. I did say we should never write Australia off, and now 1-1 going into the rest of the series, you would say that they are favourites for this. Edgbaston has traditionally been a good ground for England, where the next game is. They have got a nice 10-day break now between the end of this game at Lord's and the next one. So what they need to do is regroup, really have a think about what they didn't do as well at Lord's as they did at Cardiff, and then perhaps make one or two changes. I think Johnny Bairstow will come into the equation for England in their batting. He's got another 100 yesterday in the county championship, and he's having an absolutely amazing season in first-class cricket. And I think the call really and the clamour for him to come in is almost reaching breaking point. So I expect to see him come into at least the squad, and perhaps England also might think about picking Stephen Finn. He's been bowling very well for Middlesex recently with good pace, and it was notable that Mark Wood was significantly down on pace in this Lord's test match, so perhaps his international summer is just catching up with him. There have been slight question marks around his fitness over the last few years with his bowling, so it might be that England make a change there and pick Stephen Finn. A bit more pace, a bit more bounce, and just try and unsettle the Australians a bit more. But it has set up the series for the next three games fantastically well. England a lot of work to do. Australia be very happy, and it was really an excellent performance from the Australians at Lord's. Thank you for joining me on Wobbly's Ashes verdict, and join me next week for the my verdict of the game at Edgbaston. Thank you very much. See you soon.